haven't had my hair this long in a while.
Your hair? God, his mic is so high. Okay, there we go.
Am I too loud? No.
No, you're not loud at all. I can barely hear you.
Testing, testing, testing.
Everybody always tries to be quiet when they hear themselves for some reason.
I'm just always quiet though.
Not on your mic.
Oh, I should have brought my mic or my headset because Nono kept saying that his friends told him that he's like hella loud in it.
Oh shit, it's the wrong monitor.
On his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order.
And in what
This
order.
is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Are we Stanley?
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
There you go, you start moving.
God, the sensitivity's so high. I like the sound of that.
Nice.
You hear it?
Yeah. Satisfying.
It's like keyboard clicks.
Look around. Don't just walk out. What you got? Catch up. Oh, seriously, we disabled.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Number one dad.
Installation? What are they installing?
Reading two different things.
Recommendations from the Oversight Committee. General questions about bucket filling?
You can read that?
What? Yeah, you can't read that?
No.
Here. General questions about bucket filling.
I have to get like real close to read that.
I am a little bit closer than you.
What? Did you click it?
I think so. That guy was playing fucking solitaire. Yeah, I'm turning him off.
Stop clicking him. I want to see what's on the screen. Garfield works here.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door
Yeah.
on his left.
You choose.
Left is calling to me.
Okay. It's too late.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
The future was yesterday, tomorrow is now.
Tomorrow complete today. Is that you? Using sites to share.
Flies are crazy right now. Everyone is unique. You most of all. What do people want? Things, money, more money, things, but with money to buy, more things, graphs.
Money.
Graphs about things and money. Number of slides on this slide. Slides, charts, and slides. Rate at which charts on the same slide depict the same information. Rate of increase in graphs per slide. What is this?
No more charts.
The boss appreciation minute. Boss appreciation minute worksheet. Circle the top 20 things you love most about your boss. Fill out the triplicate and return. Fill out in triplicate. Okay. Solving personal conflict. Oh, this is back to the first line. Bi-quarterly? The fuck does bi-quarterly mean? Twice every quarter?
I think so. Yeah.
Success, transcend, charts,
A boat.
a boat, pollution, comatose, metamorphosis, less
Your
air,
skin.
spring break. Tips for not getting fired. Talk less, do unbelievably amazing work all the time, every day, with no exception of promotion or recognition. Expectation. Don't get fired.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
I don't believe it.
Can you carry
They said there was no jump.
Maybe in that section, there's just no jump.
Simplified controls.
What does that mean?
Interact. That's what I've been pressing is E. Oh. Interact. The simplified would just be you don't even need. No, it just does interact action. I don't like that this guy's telling me what to do.
Do the opposite.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Downstairs. Ooh, what's downstairs? Keep going. Okay. What's that?
It says, "Hi, Lainey. I wrote this." Hi, Lainey. I wrote this in first period and left it in your locker on the way to second. On the way to second. It's what all the cool kids are doing. I've decided. It's what all the cool kids are doing. I've decided. Write me back. Also, here's an idea for something to draw. 2 cats on a motorcycle. Hey, it's a good idea. What all the cool kids give actually doing, I don't know, is still it's interesting.
You're not wrong.
Curious as to what that be. He said to go upstairs, huh?
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a
Can you do
relief
anything
Stanley
else
felt to have finally found
Why
an
have to
answer,
finish the
an
dialogue?
explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself? Believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want.
Buttons.
I want my apartment
What?
and my
Buttons.
wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay. Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black. This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
What the fuck?
Did I die, like, technically? Or what the
Mariella
fuck?
woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day. The very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this. So it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
That was a very long stare. So it turns out you can die. That I didn't know.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
God, the
Stanley
death
decided to
is
go to
fucking
the
long
meeting
as hell,
room.
though.
Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors,
right.
he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Oh, I think I died again.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
I don't know. I don't want to listen to him.
Don't do it. Fight it.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Can you jump?
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story... But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story
I thought I could jump
and no
across.
one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death.
That, like,
Good job, Stanley.
the whole game is going to be
Everyone
either
thinks
doing what he
you are
says or not
very
doing what he says.
powerful.
So many options.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Wow, yes, this room. What a beautiful room. What a gorgeous, gorgeous room. Thank goodness Stanley had taken this detour, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left. And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
Can you get on that?
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
I can barely hear you.
Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake. No, not the right. Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Now, let's see. We went down right, left, down, left, right. Yep, okay, yes. I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
Oh, wow.
No. This isn't
Go,
right
go.
at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler. Quick, Stanley, close your eyes.
No.
Okay. We just have to get back to, oh, who am I kidding? It's all rubbish now. The whole story completely unusable. How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, Okay, from the
Now
top.
you know this room exists.
Dude, this is fucking weird. I don't know how much
All
I
of
want to
his
listen to him.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear, I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors? Did you move the story somewhere or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago. I know for sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then. It's an adventure. Come, Stanley. Let's find the story.
All of them are open and they don't close. God, this reminds me of the back rooms.
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again? Well, I find it unlikely that we'll ever progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
What the fuck?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything? Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes.
You good?
This doesn't make sense. Because that's an orange room right there.
Uh-huh. This whole game doesn't make sense.
No, wait. Never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps. Now this... Well, I'll be honest. I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct?
No doors.
What the fuck?
Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations! I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay, I'm getting weirded out by whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this time. I have to restart. All right, I've got a solution. This time, to make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that? You see, the line knows where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, Are we
You're going
implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right? Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office, in fact, the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa,
Those are big words.
Hang on. That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood. Cut the music, go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell? Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
I can't remember now. Turn around. 427. Okay.
You know what, Stanley? I say forget the adventure line. What's it ever done for us? We're intelligent people, right? Why can't we make up our own story? Something exciting, daring, mysterious. Ooh, this all sounds perfectly doable. Why don't we simply start wandering in, well, I don't know. How about this direction? Now, yes, this is exciting. Just me and Stanley forging a new path, a new story. Well, it could be anything. What do you want our story to be? Go wild. Use your imagination. Whatever it might be, Stanley.
Oh my God.
I'm ready for it.
Oh, okay, thank God.
There's no way I had to finish like a certain amount of loops there. I went through 2 loops.
Oh,
Yep, I knew it. I just swear to God if it takes me back. Very good. Oh yeah, this is back. No?
Oh, no, not you again. Stanley, I'd also like to veto the line from having any role in our awesome new story. No lines or monitor rooms. Just don't acknowledge it, and we should be fine.
Is this a horror game?
I don't know why you worried.
A little bit.
Why?
I don't know.
Ah, a choice.
Giving me the
We
ease.
get to make a decision. From here, the story is in our control. How important we mustn't squander the opportunity. In fact, I believe I need a minute to think here. Just walk in circles for a minute. Okay,
Yeah, this way.
so I know that each door has to lead somewhere, which means that somewhere, the place where we're trying to go, there must be a reverse door that leads here. And that in turn means that our destination corresponds with the counter-inverted reverse door's origin. So starting from the right, let us ask, will taking the right door lead us to where we're going? And since the answer is clearly yes, then by all accounts, the door on the right is the correct one. Another victory for logic. Come, Stanley, our destiny awaits.
Confusion ending?
Oh, hold up, what's this?
Deviate from
Confusion ending.
deviate from maintenance room,
You're
end up
telling
in
me
monitor room,
that's what
narrator
this
restarts the
is?
game, first
It's all
restart,
one
second restart,
giant
third
ending?
restart, fourth restart, fifth restart,
And we're
sixth
supposed to restart the game what, eight times?
For a long time, Stanley
That's
does.
really how all this goes? It's all determined? So now, according to the schedule,
this is
I
one
restart
ending in
again.
itself?
Then what? Am I just supposed to forget? Well, what if I don't want to forget? My mind goes blank simply because it's written here on this thing, wall. Well, who consulted me? Why don't I get to decide? Why don't I get a say in all of this? Is it really? No, it can't be. I don't want it to be. I don't want the game to keep restarting. I don't want to forget what's going on. I don't want to be trapped like this. I won't restart the game. I won't do
Nonsense
it. I
philosophy
won't
and music.
do it. I won't do it. And the timer stopped? Does that mean, did we do it? Did we break the cycle? The, whatever it is that made this schedule? How would we even know? Will someone come for us? Will something happen? So, okay. I guess now we just wait. You know, I suppose in some way that this is a kind of story, wouldn't you agree? I'm not quite sure if we're in the destination or the journey, though they're always saying that life is about the journey and not the destination. So I hope that's where we are right now. We'll find out, won't we? Eventually. Well, in the meantime, if you...
What the fuck?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Alright, sure.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway. Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Escape.
I'll let you make this decision.
Me?
Yeah.
Oh. Try escape.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it,
Damn it.
the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
So be it. Do it.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death. As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the
Can you
bigger
jump on that
picture.
railing?
He doesn't know the real story,
know.
trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Guess not. Violent death. Damn it. I knew it.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
What the fuck?
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Violent cannons. Oh, so this is the end of the game? Damn.
I don't know. I don't think it is. Button sounds.
You could have clicked on the buttons the whole time.
I didn't even see buttons.
Where the clocks were. Weren't they buttons?
No.
Oh.
They were just numbers. They were labeled clocks.
Nice.
The game would become sentient.
Yes, the narrator realized shortly after his strand. Part 2 joking. Damn. They should have done it.
I don't think this is the end. Maybe it is.
Yeah, I think this is the end.
How did I beat the... How?
I'm equally as confused as you are. Huh. So everything you do does something?
Well, there's a whole bunch of endings, I guess.
Fuck, that's crazy.
These are actually the credits.
I think so. This is a neat way of putting it. I like how the whole game is just us be quiet.
it to the power source at the top of the facility to end this injustice forever. Now then, this elevator for sure will get him right back on track to where he's supposed to be.
This is a trip.
How do you leave? It's like a museum for the game. I like it.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free. Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let...
Oh, I think you could have done it.
Was that an actual death?
I think so.
I don't know.
I'm so confused.
I don't know what's happening. I think that was an actual death. The first death, it led me through that long ass loop, and I wonder if they're all just confusing loops right before you die.
Maybe.
You wanna try it?
Fuck. It's already a trip when I see you play. Ooh, this is a nice mic. I like this one.
You like that one better?
Yeah.
2 gigs. Why is it taking so long?